machines, I'm sorry to say. I know that they are not discredited in Arizona. I know that they've been wonderful because I've been elected and re-elected.
Hi, Senator. My question is, Walmart is our nation's largest private employer, and it's a company that makes over $12 billion in profits yearly. So at this point, they leave over 50% of their workers without company-provided health care. Do you have any plans as president to make corporations such as Walmart become a more responsible employer?
I have plans to make health affordable and available health care to every American. And that's what I think our goal should be, is every American should have available and affordable health care. And health care in America is the best in the world, but it's the most expensive, and it continues to escalate beyond people's means. And we are seeing millions more Americans that cannot afford health insurance. We have to do about 10 things. Among them is an HMO patient's bill of rights. Another one is our ability to import drugs from Canada. Another one is medical malpractice reform. Another one is insurance companies rewarding people for wellness and fitness. Another one is when people change jobs and have portable health insurance policies, they make it truly affordable. They're not affordable now, even though they can go from one job to another. We should encourage health savings accounts. We should put health care records online. We should we should give tax credits for low-income Americans so that they can pay their medical premiums. I just want to say we have a difference of opinion between myself and many of the Democrat proposals. The Democrat proposals are for big government, single-payer system, and some of the Democrat candidates have said that you have to have tax increases. I don't think you need your taxes increased. I don't think that at all. And so I would look at this solution. Yes, sir. So, yes, sir.
Can you comment on what you think the likelihood that Congress will do something about the Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and fiscal crisis that it really brings?
I promise you, as President of the United States, we will. Because if Congress won't do it, then I'll do it. And let me do it. I think that, first of all, let me say you've got to eliminate the wasteful and disgraceful spending practices, which has caused us Republicans so much problem. My friends, we Republicans came to power in 1994 to change government, and government changed us. We presided over the largest increase in spending since the Great Society, and it corrupted us. We let spending get completely out of control. This earmark pork barreling process is terrible. We have members of Congress, former members of Congress, in federal prison today because of this corrupt system and their corruption of it, and it makes you laugh and it makes you cry. My friends, I don't know if you know or not, but you spent $3 million a couple of years ago to study the DNA of bears in Montana. I don't know if that was a paternity issue or a criminal issue. And I have a line that I stole from Ronald Reagan that I say, Congress spends money like a drunken sailor, only I never knew a sailor drunk or sober with the imagination of Congress. And that, that gets a chuckle. About 4 months ago, I'm not making this up, 4 months ago, I got an email from a guy that said, as a former drunken sailor, I resent being compared to members of Congress. So you veto every spending bill that comes across your desk. And by the way, I won't even talk to you about the bridge to nowhere, the $233 million bridge in Alaska. I won't even talk to you about no money and $2 billion worth of pork barrel projects for bridge inspection and repair while you have a bridge over the Mississippi River collapse and cause the loss of life. We won't even go into that part. Then you say, okay, we're going to fix Social Security, and we can sit down together, Republican and Democrat together. That's what Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill did in 1983. That's what the American people expect us to do. And then you have to take on Medicare, which is the most complex and most difficult. But again, if they don't want to do it, let me do it. I would, on the case of Social Security, I would say let's have a commission headed by by a former chairman, Alan Greenspan. Whether he's alive or dead, it doesn't matter. If he's dead, we'll prop him up and put dark glasses on him weekend at Bernie's. But anyway, and we'll pass a law appointing that commission, and when that commission reports out, Congress vote up or down. Yes or no? Just like we did on the base poison commission. They haven't got the guts to do it, then let me do it. I'll do the hard things. So thank you for your question and comment. But it has got to be done. And if we don't do it, then we're going to pass on to a younger generation of Americans a problem that we should take care of. And that is to make sure that they have a Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid system that's viable, which it's not going to be unless we ask. Any other? Yes, sir.
I'm John Burgess. I'm your Madison County Chairman here in Iowa.
God bless you, John. You're a great American.
Well, thank you, Senator. My question is, we've wasted a lot of money in Congress and God knows what. And I thought, you know, we were talking about Ronald Reagan and the Cold War. What about doing a Voice of America or a Marshall Plan for the Middle East? Iran is 70% of the country under age 30. And it'd be, you know, and if the war on terror is a war of ideas, we definitely have superior firepower. So how do we go about disseminating those ideas to the world and doing that, like during the Cold War?
John, you know, President Reagan's national security advisor during that period was Colonel Bud McFarlane. And maybe he got some thoughts on that.
It's the most penetrating question that you possibly could frame, that it really engages your sons and daughters, and whether or not they're going to be engaged in this struggle, so that we can overcome it. Today, radical Islam has established itself in over 60 countries around the world. And it has committed, publicly again, last week in bin Laden's announcement, to spread this doctrine of hatred and intolerance to every country as quickly as it can, unless we stop it. In that same bin Laden message, he said the central battleground of that issue is in Iraq today. There is no doubt at all that if we signal that we're going to withdraw, that's a surrender. That's a defeat. And picture yourself in any Muslim country from Morocco to Indonesia the day that bin Laden can announce that we've beaten America again. He says it time and time again in regard to Beirut, the USS Cole, to the Khobar Towers bombing, that the Americans don't have the stomach to stick with it. This is a pernicious threat, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't yet quite absorbed the depth of commitment and how well financed this body of extremists are. We haven't quite yet understood that this is the same kind of fascist, tyrannical idea that appeared in 1917 and before long came to become the Soviet Union, with the purge of 30 million lives. We can't quite believe that this is an idea that has taken root, again, from Morocco to Indonesia, similar to the way one took root and grew in 1933 and became National Socialism in Germany. Truly, this is the threat of the next generation. And today, that battleground is in Iraq, and we must win it there. I kid you not, if we don't win it there, we're going to face a conflagration. And nobody has been a stronger voice on this in Congress than the senator you're standing before you today. You stick with him, there's going to be a policy based on experience and knowledge of what to do to overcome this menace. John McCain can lead to that.
Any other questions or comments or insults that you have for me? I tell you what, I'll do a very dangerous thing. Mr. Tancredo supporter, you wanted to say something else?
Yeah, I can ask you a question, Senator.
Sure.
Representative Nathan Deal from Georgia introduced H.R. 1940, which would end the practice of granting authentic citizenship to the United States-born kids of illegal aliens. And if it does go through the House, would you support that? It's HR
I'd have to,
1940.